Welcome back to Missed It by How Much. This is the channel that uses game models to test hypotheses. We're currently testing whether or not leaving Alfredo Griffin off the LA Dodgers would cause them to score 5 runs a game and win the National League West in 1990. The Montreal series has wrapped up. The Dodgers won 2 out of 3, although they did have a game where they were ahead 2-0 in the ninth and ended up losing 3-2. Came back on the final day of the series, and Mike Morgan had a great pitching. I think he only gave up a solo shot, and Cal Daniels hit 2 home runs. So the Dodgers are now 19-10, going into the last part of this 8-game road trip, currently at 5-1, with 2 more games left with the New York Mets. Before we do that game, though, I wanted to talk about catchers. And the fact that when you're playing this game, your catcher can only play 10 games in a row. That doesn't have anything to do with whether or not you have days off. They cannot catch 11 straight games. You could have a day off in between every single game. That doesn't occur on any schedule that I know of. But that's something to be mindful of when you're making your daily lineup. And here's the proof right here. A maximum of 10 is it. So the game that the Dodgers are playing today will be against Frank Viola, who is an excellent pitcher. He's got to be in the running for a Cy Young Award in the National League. He's obviously pitching the best that the Mets currently have. And so I decided, was making a decision on the lineup, whether or not to just mail this one in. Thinking about the 10-game streak and whether or not I should use my really good catcher, Mike Scioscia, versus my really not good catcher, Rick Dempsey, in his final season. He can play defense relatively well. So I made a crude, elementary, ancient-looking table here to weigh whether or not I should play Mike Scioscia. So the first thing I did was I gave him the day off in yellow. So the days that you see are the remainder of the season. If I had let him have this game off and then started the 10 count over again. In doing that, that gave him 13 more days off the rest of the season. And then I said, what if I just played him those 10 days and then on the 11th gave him off? How many days off would I have that way? And by counting the yellow squares, I see that he plays an extra game just by staying with that 10 on, 1 off, 10 off, 1 off, 10 on, 1 off schedule. So you say, well, 1 game, what does that matter? If you saw Rick Dempsey's stats, you might change your mind on how important that is. Rick has had a difficult time hitting thus far in the season. He has a 0 average. He did walk once. We'll give him credit for that. But it's a gigantic drop-off. So, can 1 game make a difference when you're trying to make up 5? I would say yes. So I thought about this schedule, and I'm going to stick with playing him 10 on and 1 off, at least until we get into the major part, the ending part of the season schedule. I don't know who's going to be our main competition. I would have thought at the beginning of this project it would be Cincinnati. It could be San Francisco. Houston's been good as well, and San Diego has a great lineup. So I don't know, and I won't know probably until we get into August at least. The other thing is this doesn't mean I'm locked into this 10 on, 1 off. When I get down towards the end of the schedule, I have 3 days to play with. If you count ahead after game 155, that means 156 to 166. This is where the next day off would be. So that means I have 1, 2, 3 days to play with. I can fit those days in anywhere along in here. But that's the maximum I could do. So I could start somebody on, or take them off on 8. Could go 8 straight and then have a day off. And then have 2 there. I could mix and match. I could take somebody on the 9th day versus the 10th day. As long as it adds up to 3 and no higher, I have that leeway to play with. And when it comes down to the end of the season here, there might be a game where I don't want 155 off. I might need him in this area to play against a team that is ahead of us in the standings or tied or really close. But that gives me that option. If I go here and I give this day off for this game against Viola, then I don't have that option. Unless I give up a game of him playing. Looking at the mathematical computation, every 11th day for a 162 game season is 14. So Mike Scioscia has missed 2 games already in the season due to rest. He's going to miss 14 total. And this is those 3 extra days. If I go past that, then he misses 15, which you see right here. When you add 2 to the expected extra 13, including losing him on the last game of the season, which to me is unacceptable, period. So, this is the data. You're trying to win every single game. I'm trying to make the best decisions to give my team the most small advantages here and there to win. And here's one of them. You save 1 game. And again, in your lineup, you might have 2 good catchers. You might have a catcher that's good against righties and another catcher that's good against lefties. This doesn't apply to you. This is for people who have 1 superior catcher and then 1 catcher who plays because he has to, due to rest. That's it. That's the only reason why Rick Dempsey should be playing on this season game. So, based on that, we're going to play Mike Scioscia the 10 straight games and then give him a day off. And then we'll check back later in the season if there's an advantageous movement. As long as it doesn't add up to 3, I can do 1 3 different times. I don't want to lose him for that 13th game. Or would be 15 total versus 14 total for the season. I'd like to see him at 148 out of 162. If he plays that, because I can't even pinch hit him on those days where he doesn't start. So we'll see if I can keep it to that 14. We'll see how we play with the lineups towards the end of the season. I also wanted to point out here, we're currently at 4.9 runs a game. Remember, the goal is 5. We're tied with Philadelphia for the most offense. I have a feeling we're going to have a hard time doing that today against Frank Viola. The Mets are 15-13. I believe Darryl Strawberry is on a hot streak. So if the pitcher is not hard enough to face, apparently the Mets have started hitting. They were in first place a couple games ago. They've currently fallen back into 3rd, but only a game out of it, as the Cubs are the leaders. So we're going to take on the Mets here, trying to win game number 6 of the road trip. One thing to point out, as you see there, the Mets have 36 home runs and lead the National League. So this is a good team, even though Their record is just barely over 500. Two-game series against the Mets before the Dodgers go back home, I believe, to play San Francisco. So those are the games of May 11th. Those are the results, except for the last game to be played, which is ours. And Jim Neidlinger will get the start. Pitched well in his last game. Dodgers not a particularly good hitting team against lefties. So we're going to start off with Eddie Murray leading off. Cal Daniels will hit second. Juan Samuel will start in center field. Kirk Gibson will play right field. The aforementioned Mike Scioscia will catch. Sharperson will play third. Lenny Harris will play second. And Jose Vizcaino will play short. And Jim Neidlinger will start us off. We'll see how far he can go against this very difficult lineup. Frank Viola's ERA is 1.74, and he's 3-0. And Darryl Strawberry is riding a 10-game hitting streak. Eddie Murray has a 9-game one of his own. So we'll see how this goes. I expect runs to be difficult to get as we start off. First pitch to Murray by Viola is a ground out first. 1 out. We'll bring up Cal Daniels. 2-run homer in his last game. It's a fly ball to center field. Boston looks to have that. For Samuel, who strikes out. So nothing across for the Dodgers in the first half of the inning. 1, no score. Howard Johnson starts off for the Mets. And he gets a base hit. That's going to be in the gap. Going to have a hard time. Samuel with the poor play. He's the one that goes and gets it. Throws it in a second. We have a leadoff double for Howard Johnson against Nagan. It's a fly ball to left. Daniels along the line. Should have it in fair territory. He makes the catch. Let's see if Johnson tags. No play there. He holds at second. 1 out for Sasser. And he gets a base hit up the middle. Johnson's going to try to score Samuel with a decent arm in center field. We'll see. Not decent enough as Johnson scores his 1-0 Mets. That'll bring up Strawberry with the 10-game hitting streak. 5 home runs thus far. And he grounds one to Harris. We'll see if he can pull it up there. Over to Vizcaino. Vizcaino 1. Over to Murray. The runner is out, and the batter is 2. Double play ends the inning. The Mets score 1 on the double and single by double by Johnson and the single by Sasser. It's 1-0 Mets. Up next for the Dodgers is Gibson. Strikes out. That's a second one for Viola. Brings up Scioscia. He makes contact, but it's an easy ground ball to Maganin. Walk it over. That's 2 outs. For Sharperson. That's 3 for Viola. We're through 1.5. 1-0 Mets. Neidlinger against McDonald. See, it's a ground ball to Sharperson. This will be a good test for his arm. Pickup throw. It's going to be close. The throw. He's safe. Not a poor play. He just beat the throw. And an 82% chance of him stealing here, so we're not going to throw over. There he goes. It's a ground ball to Harris. Let's see if they can get 2 or not. Nope. Only plays to first, so it moves McReynolds over to second. 1 out for Tuffle. He gets a base hit into left field. Daniels picks it up. Has a good arm. McReynolds says, I'll hold with 1 out. So first and third, 1 out. For Mario Diaz, he's been replacing. It doesn't. He's had 13 at-bats and 0 hits for Kevin Elster, who's injured right now. He needs to make contact. We'll see if he can against Neidlinger. It's a pop-up on the infield. Looks like. Nope, it clears. It goes to the outfield. Samuel's going to make the catch. So this is good here. McReynolds going to try to tag up and score on Samuel's arm. And even though it's a 9, he'll score easily. I'm not going to try to throw him out. I don't want the runner to move up to second. So nice job by Diaz getting the RBI. It's 2-0 Mets. For Viola, he's hitting 200 in the season, 3 hits. And he gets a 4th hit as he hits one into right field. And Neidlinger not looking good thus far. Tuffle moves to third. 2-0 Mets. And runners on the corners again for Johnson. Howard has a base hit, scored a run in the first. And he walks, so they're loaded. Jim having a tough time with it. Faces Maganin with the bases loaded and 2 out. And there's a base hit. That should score 1 run for sure. Let's see if Viola tries to run on Daniel's arm. It's 3-0 Mets. There's a 1% chance of getting Frank Viola out the plate. It's 4-0 Mets. And this is the blowout that I thought it would be. I thought we wouldn't give up this many runs this early, though. Neidlinger against Sasser. He's going to stay out there. All right. He gets a base hit in our right field. That'll score Johnson probably on Gibson's arm. 5-0 Mets. Boy, these percentage chance. Why don't you just put 0? Nope, we're going to try to hold Megan in a second. Which we do. For Strawberry. Oh boy. Strawberry is a 317 average, on base of 411, slug of 430, OPS of 842. Could he make it 8-0 with a 3-run shot and keep his hitting streak alive? We're going to find out. Neidlinger's pitch. Ground ball to Harris. That shouldn't be a hit. Throws over to Murray, and that ends the inning. Through 2, it's 5-0 Mets. 7 hits for the Mets. Harris, this game, I would have to say, is probably over. It would take a pretty miraculous comeback. And Strawberry makes a nice play on Harris's hit. He dives. So he doesn't have a hit yet, but it's a nice defensive play. Here's Vizcaino against Viola. He hits a ground ball into right field. That's a hit for Vizcaino. He's hit fairly well in this road trip. Poor play by Tuffle, though. That'll bring up Neidlinger, who has no hits in 5 at-bats, and we're going to try to sacrifice. Let's see if we can get accomplished. First, there's a foul out of play. So 2 strikes, so we'll try again for the sacrifice. And I don't know what happened there. He fouled it back, and it's a strikeout. Okay. 2 outs for Murray. So Vizcaino's still at first. He hits a ground ball to third. Howard coming in. Picks it up, throws to first. It's going to be close. Eddie busting tail, and he's safe with the infield single. That brings his average up to 355. Here's Cal Daniels. This is where you need a home run to get back into the game. Not a home run, but laced into right field, and it gets past Straw. Poor play by Straw. That's going to score at least Vizcaino. Let's see if Murray tries it. He'll score. It's 5-2, and the Daniels double. 2 poor plays on defense for the Mets this half inning, and it hurts Viola. Dodgers score 2. All right, Daniels in scoring position with 2 out for Samuel. Can get a single here and get it 5-3. He hits one that's a liner right at John. That'll do it. Through 2.5, it's 5-2 Mets. Neidlinger comes out. Let's see if he can pitch any better. There's his first strikeout against McReynolds. And here's Boston. He hits a ground ball to Harris. Nice and easy over to Murray. That's 2 down. So this is the best half inning Neidlinger's pitched so far. He faces Tuffle to get a 1-2-3. But Tuffle hits one into left field. That's a base hit, so it doesn't happen. That's the 8th hit off Neidlinger. And a poor play by Sharperson over at third. 2 out for Diaz, who had a fly ball, sacrifice fly, score a run. It's a ground ball to Vizcaino. He's going to go the short way. Yep, that'll hit in the inning. We're through 3. 5-2 Mets. Bring up Gibson against Viola. At 42 pitches through 3 innings. He's straight. Nope. Yeah, he does. It's dropped by Sasser, and he throws to first to get the out. 1 out. For Scioscia. And he strikes out 6 Ks for Viola. Against Sharperson. He hits a fly ball. That should be easy pickings for Boston. Walks in. We're through 3. 5-2 Mets. Bottom of the order for Neidlinger. First up, Viola has a single. And he has 2, it looks like. There's another hit. Boy, Neidlinger just should have stayed in bed. Is that 10 hits? Nope, 9 hits for the Mets. Through 3 innings plus. That'll bring up Howard Johnson. And he gets a base hit into center field. Viola stopping at second. And he'll hold. First and second. Nobody out for Magadan. With an average of 398, on base of 545, slug of 477, OPS of 1.022. Neidlinger only at 62 pitches. So he's going to take it on the chin if he can't get through this. We need some depth from him. So he's going to face Magadan here. Pitch. Hits a ground ball to Vizcaino. He's not going to make the play. And so we have an error to compound things. Are they loaded? His 4th error, he bobbled it. And the bases are loaded with nobody out. And here comes the part of the lineup you don't want to see as a pitcher. Sasser, Strawberry, and McReynolds. Sasser with already 2 hits on the game. I could pull him here, but I just don't even think we could come back. So there's no point. The sacrificial lamb as Sasser hits his 3rd. Gets his 3rd hit into right field. That'll score Viola. Johnson going to hold with nobody out. So station to station, as they would call it, for Strawberry. 3rd chance at a hit to extend his hitting green streak from 10 to 11. His numbers look like this. 317, 411, slug is 400, OPS of 812. And yet, we're leaving him out there. And he gets a base hit. That'll extend his streak to 11 as he hits it over Vizcaino's head into center field. Samuel picks it up. Let's see if they hold it to just 1 run. Throw to third. Magadan holds. It's now 7-2. Again, Neidlinger only at 77 pitches. I need some depth from him. So he's going to face McReynolds with the bases loaded and still nobody out. And he hits a ground ball. Is that back to the mound? Nope. Vizcaino picks it up. We are not going to try for the out of home. We're going to try for the double play. Goes to Harris for 1, and that's it. So they get 1 out. First out. Fourth. It's now 8-2. With runners at the corners, Neidlinger at 81 pitches is still going to stay out there. I'm not wrecking my bullpen. I didn't think I was going to win this anyhow. Boston hits one into right. This is going to look good on the stat sheets for the hitters for New York. He gets a single. Another run scores this 9-2. For Tuffle, if you don't like blowout, or you're not a Mets fan, you may want to turn it off right now. Tuffle gets his third hit. That's a single. Now they're loaded. It's still 9-2 for Diaz. He's the only player on the team in this lineup that does not have a hit. Well, he's going to have a chance here. The base is loaded. Nope, but he hits a fly ball. He might get a second RBI. Gibson, not a good arm. Coming in far enough to hold McReynolds. No, he's not. 1% chance of throwing him out, and we're not going to try that. We're going to hope Boston stays a second. If he does, it's 10-2 Mets. And here's Viola looking for his third hit of the game. This is what you would call a blowout. And you would say, well, why do you even start Scioscia? I explained it in the video why you would start him. Just even for the whole reason of getting him for an extra day, extra game is worth it. But I will say, some people are going to be replaced right now, so they don't get injured. This game is over. There is no coming back from that. 5 runs in the 4th. So we're going to make some changes. Our 2 most important players are Eddie Murray and Cal Daniels. And you had to play him to at least have a chance. I mean, Rick Dempsey gives you 0 chance in this game. So Eddie Murray and Cal Daniels are going to come out. Javier, he can play in Daniels' spot. Can I not replace him right here? While at bat. Okay. We're through 4. Lenny Harris is going to stay in there, so I guess I can't replace him. So we're going to do this right here. We're going to let him hit. It's a ground ball to Magadan. Worst of it is not happening. We're not getting no hit. We're not going to be shut out with the 2 runs in the 3rd. So it's just embarrassing to lose. But if you lose by 1 run or 100, it's still a loss. Vizcaino is going to ground out to Diaz. Looks like a great play. And he nips Vizcaino at first. So Vizcaino's played well. Even though his average is still 227. Neidlinger at 92 pitches. We're going to try to let him pitch 1 more inning. I don't want to put him out or anything, but there's no reason to hit for him. Waste the bullpen. Use up his bullets. Okay, so maybe I can make some changes now that we're on defense. Stan Javier is going to replace Daniels. And we're going to replace who in the outfield's more important. Gibson. Gibson's pretty important. Play Gonzalez in his spot. Samuel will move to second base. See if I can do that. Sharperson will move to first base. I'll put Brooks in Murray's spot. So Brooks can only play right field. We'll put him in right. That'll put Javier in left. And we'll put Gonzalez in center. And Rick Dempsey will go in Socha's spot and play catcher, which is the only position he can play. Harris will move to third. Okay, that looks pretty good. I mean, I'd love to get everybody out, all my starters, but I don't have enough bench players to do that. Javier is a good player, but right now, I don't want Gibson to get hurt. He has a really low durability scale number. Okay, let's see if we can complete this game. Let's see if we can get Neidlinger through 5. Johnson has had 2 hits. He's looking for a third. Ground ball to Sharperson. He'll take it himself. And he gets it. 1 out here in the 5th. I'll bring up Dave Magadan, who only has 1 hit. Ground ball to Vizcaino. Hey, listen, if Vizcaino, he doesn't get him at first, you're going to make an error. Make an error in a game like this. You know? Sasser with his 4th hit. This game, like I said, is going to look great for the stats of these Mets hitters. We're not going to throw to third. Magadan can have that. And that's his 4th hit. There you go. Congratulations. Darryl Strawberry is up to an 11 game. He's looking for his 2nd. It's a good place for a 3-run shot, you would think. Hit it now, not tomorrow. He strikes out, of course. 2 outs. Neidlinger, still not 2 expected pitches, so it looks like he might get through 5. Harris going to try to get this foul ball. And he does. We're through 5. It's 10-2 Mets. So, just a matter of finishing this one off. These are the games where, as a manager, you'd like to hit the skip button and move on to the next game, but got to try to play smart here, and hopefully nobody gets injured. That's the most important thing. Brooks gets a base hit. Good for his confidence. Javier looks like a lineout. Go back and get Brooks at first, probably. Yeah, that's a double play. Hey, listen, if you're going to get bad plays, let's get them all out of our system today. Here's Samuel. We're supposed to be able to hit lefties, but this is a tough lefty, I will say. He hasn't been, and he didn't do it there. So we're through 5.5. It's still 10-2. Still going to stay out there. He's doing okay. Well, the last half inning was okay. He's got 4 outs in a row. And now he's over 116 pitches, and we'll go to the pen. And we'll hope whoever we pick here, which I think will be Wetland, can finish the game. That's what I would like to see. We'll put him in Neidlinger spot. He has 65 pitches. We'll see if he can do that. Hey, he strikes out Tim Tuffle, who was 3 for 3. Now he's 3 for 4. There's Diaz with only 1 real. He's hit a lot of fly balls. He's got 2 sacrifice flies. Okay, not on that play, though. He flies out. And now bring up Viola. Oh, I'm sorry. Viola will be up next inning. We're through 6. To the 7th, Gonzalez gets a base hit. Finally gets some time here. 64% chance to run, but I'm not doing that. Here's Dempsey. Shocker here. He's K number 7 for Viola. Still doesn't have a hit on the season for Sharperson. He gets a base hit. He's started to play a lot better on this trip, including a 3-hit game. First and second, 1 out for Harris. He pops it up. McReynolds is coming in, but it looks more like Johnson's ball. We'll see. The catch over at third. 2 outs for Vizcaino. And he gets a base hit. All right. Let's see if Gonzalez tries to score on Strawberry's 8-arm. See what the percentage chance is here. Nope. No percentage chance he scores. It's 10-3. Don't call it a comeback. Here's Wetland with first and second. And he makes contact. Hits at the tuffle. Tim boots it around and still has enough time to pick it up and throw out Wetland. He boots it, yeah. Picks it up, he goes to first out. So even when it's an error, it's not enough to help us out. It's 10-3 through 6.5. To the 7th. Here's Viola. He strikes out. That's Wetland's second for Johnson. He strikes out. That's 3 for Wetland. Of course, this is where Wetland plays plus. Here's Maganin. 2 for 4. Pops it up. Looks it over into the outfield. Javier barely moving. He's kind of shuffling. 2 outs. Nope, that was the 3rd out. I forgot how many outs. This game is just dragging. If you've made it this far, I appreciate it. We're through 7. It's 10-3. Brooks hits a ground ball through. He gets a second hit. Poor play by Diaz. Leadoff single for Brooks. Brings up Javier. He hits a fly ball. Left field. Johnson barely off the... Makes the catch. 1 out for Samuel. He hits it almost in the exact same spot. Johnson picks up some dirt, throws it in the air. Enough time to catch the ball anyhow. 2 outs for Jose Gonzalez. He hits a ground ball to Diaz. He's got it. Throw to first. They get Gonzalez on a close play. Through 7.5, 10-3. Sasser walks. Does he have a perfect day? I don't know, but he has definitely player of the game written all over him. All over this performance. Here's Strawberry. He walks. That's the other problem with Wetland. He strikes people out, but he walks them as well. Just got to make this half inning. Come on. McReynolds hits one deep. Javier playable along the line and left. Makes the catch. Sasser's going to tag on his arm. Move to third, 1 out for Boston. Even the game doesn't want this game. Too bad. We still have to finish it. Here comes Boston. He hits a fly ball to right. Looks foul. He's going to cross back over. Not staying foul. Brooks into the stands. Looks like he makes the catch. Is he going to try to score? Probably should have just left that. Foul. But Sasser doesn't try to score. Okay, 2 outs for Tuffle. Wetland trying to keep 10-3. It's a looper. It's deep. Whoa, it's not a looper. It's gone. It's a 3-run shot for Tim Tuffle. Look at how far. That's in the parking lot, folks. If you're parked in section C3, you may need to check your windshield when you leave. That's a long shot. 417 feet, and he has a 4-hit game. He says, "Excuse me, Mr. Sasser, I may have the MVP." Wetland gives up a big home run there. And Diaz hits one back to the mound, and Wetland makes an error. So he's safe, but it's still not a hit. He's still not going to get a hit today. brings up Viola, and they're going to pull him. Well, they could have pulled him a long time ago and still won this game. Mark Carrion will face Wetton, and he gets a base hit. Listen, John, you've got to get that last out. I don't want to break anybody else in it. You may be playing the outfield, and Hubie Brooks may be coming in. We're not throwing to third. It's 13-3. John, can you please give me one more out? Facing Johnson. He hits a ground ball. Please, Jose, can you make this stop? Throw to first. They get him. Whew. We're through 8. It's 13-3 Mets. Wally Whitehurst comes in. Man, his ERA is 0.68. So I would not waste a good pitcher like this in this game, but not my call. The computers. So let's get 3 outs and be done. Since he strikes out. He went 0 for 2. Did he walk in this game? I guess he just had 2 at-bats after coming in. Sharperson hits a ground ball to Diaz. He's got it. And he beats Sharperson with the throw. This is what I'm talking about with the catcher situation. Dempsey plays, and it's like nobody's there. You don't have a chance. Lenny Harris should end it right here. Hits a ground ball to Diaz. And that'll do it. This will be the quickest wrap-up you'll ever see. This game was a disaster, as I thought it would be. I assumed it would be a loss. I did not think it would be this poor of a performance, but Dodgers lose 13-3. They're now 19-11. There's not much good to report here. Kind of interesting to see who's the MVP. The Dodgers do end up with 8 hits, so that's respectable. Cal Daniels with a big RBI double, I believe. Yeah, 2 RBIs. This kind of singled someone in. Neidlinger wants to pretend this was a dream. That was a nightmare. Yeah, he had minus stuff. I would say so. Wetland had plus stuff. He had plus stuff, and he still walked 2 players. Gave up 2 hits and a monster shot by Tim Teufel. That looks like Viola's normal line. A little bit more in terms of runs than I would expect, but it'd be hard to concentrate in a game like that where it's just no point playing. Tim Teufel does. He rips it out of Sasser's hands. He thought he had the award. Tim Teufel says, "Not so fast, my friend." And he gets the award. 2 great plays, not from a Dodger. And some poor plays by Samuel Sharper. I'm really starting to wonder if Samuel even deserves to hit against lefties. Thanks for watching. The Dodgers have 1 more game on this trip. They're 5-2 before coming home. We did not score 5 runs, so our average is probably going to go down to 4.8. But all in all, even if we lose the last game against the Mets in this road trip, 5-3 is a lot better than the, I believe, 2-6 the real team did in 1990. So, in summary, the Dodgers got their score handed to them, and they lost 19-11. We're 2.5 up in the West, and we hope we don't have to see Frank Viola in the playoffs. Thanks for watching. Missed it by how much?